Hello, ladies, and as always, you're ever so welcome to my Monday Magic this evening. And this one is a little bit different because I am going to teach over the next few weeks my True to You course. So, this is a course where we actually use the different elements of life design to become really, really true to ourselves. And to be honest with you, it just works amazingly well. And clients of mine have had some really, really great, what I say, because I don't really look for results. I suppose breakthroughs, I suppose aha moments, I suppose clarity over the time that we've worked together. So, as always, you're very, very welcome to Monday Magic. Generosity is Queen Lizzie's way. And I just can't, nor do I want to change this. And you see, in many ways, the generosity and sharing my knowledge is being true to me. So, when you reach that stage of being true to yourself in your life, it becomes almost non negotiable. And I would say this that it becomes non negotiable in a most pleasant way. And there are so many programs out there to change us, to improve us, to tell us all that's wrong with us. Whereas True to You takes us to a position of choice in every area of our lives, as life design does too, if the truth be known. So when you're in that position of choice, everything really changes. And we can start with some some small little adjustments in our lives that we have that are going to make a big difference to the life we live. And it just happens over and over again. And I did teach an earlier version of this, but it's one of these things that even as I was redoing it myself, I could find myself making little notes because life is continuously changing and we are continuously changing. And I think certainly the past couple of years have made many of us consider how we want to be true to ourselves. And I think that this course is going to bring a lot of clarity. So what I would describe it is a course, right? But I would describe it as a journey to yourself, a non-judgmental, self-esteem building journey to yourself. And I'll start with a quote that I have no idea where I found it, to be honest with you. But it says that learning about yourself is remembering what you do know and looking inside to discover what you don't know, or might even have forgotten, because the true self can become truly overshadowed by life, or from living a life that others think that we should live. So this is a one-of-a-kind course. It's kind of a me time, a self-connection time, a self-inspiration time, and most importantly, just a little bit of time out. So why am I teaching this course that I know is so valuable, free of charge? Because so many I know are trying to readjust, needing to reinvent, perhaps how they dress, or even how they show up in the world. It's a new era. There's still thread around. We can find ourselves on the fence when it comes to lots of different elements of our lives. People need a boost. They're burdened in all kinds of ways. And I, with life design, have a different view of life and living that I think is really, really beneficial, because life design can help us to rise above anything that's bothering us. We have to learn when to bow to fear or anxiety or whatever is coming up for us, because we're experiencing real and challenging situations. But we also have to tune in and know when all is well for now, and to save our strength and our mind power, rather than threats or imagined events that might never happen. We save that power for when we do need it. So over the next weeks, I hope to lead you on this little journey to be even just a little bit more true to you. And perhaps you feel you are true to yourself and really in touch with yourself and fulfilling your needs and your wants. That's good, because then this journey together will allow you to reconsider all of this as the woman that you are now, and to consider if there are some small or even big tweaks and adjustments you might like to make to be even more true to you at this time and going forward in your life. So from time to time, I find working with people that we can find ourselves going in circles in certain areas of our lives. I found myself there too, almost in a never-ending loop. Perhaps we take ourselves off to mindfulness classes or yoga or other sessions to try to find some ease, try to break through in some way. For others, endless Netflix helps blank things out. Over the next weeks, I invite you to tune into your own personal wisdom, Step outside your norm and reconnect with yourself. Perhaps we'll find ways here in the course to allow aspects of you to emerge or even re-emerge. Perhaps you'll make some interesting discoveries. Time out for you. You really deserve this. Who does not need a self-focused pause? It's a good idea to get a little notebook to capture insights or things that you would like to explore or investigate further in the weeks ahead. Things that will pop up into your mind as I speak each week. And to be honest with you, we think we will remember these things, but we don't. Because even as I was going back through the notes of my previous course, I was quite shocked. It was almost like reading some of them for the first time, because we just see things differently. And, if we don't capture all of this, well, really, we're just dependent on our busy mind. Whereas if we have it down in a little notebook or even a piece of paper, just little dawnings, I call them. In my life design work, I call them little captures, where it's just little things that kind of touch our heart in some way and make us think, that needs a little bit of attention. Or I haven't thought about that for a while. Or maybe there is a kind of a possibility around something at the moment that I'd always thought I was too busy for. Or in some instances, people can think they don't deserve things. But I promise you, at the end of these couple of weeks together, you really will believe that you deserve the best. Sometimes I falter on that level myself, but thankfully, I go back into life design, figure things out a bit, and then I move into a new place, because all of our life experience is attached in some way to our past experience. And even though we clear things and move things on and we move on, there can be little tiny seeds that can regenerate. And I think that this course is a great way to review all of that and just say, enough is enough. This is what I do want. This is what I don't want. And I'm going to make some new decisions. So be really honest with yourself. Are you just allowing life to float by? Or are you constantly firefighting? What are you doing day by day? Uplift yourself and give yourself hope. Who are you spending time with? Yes, physically, but also who are you spending time with on the TV? Or on Netflix? Or in your social media feed? How is this affecting you? Everything we watch and listen to has, unfortunately, or fortunately, I suppose, if they're nice things, the power to have us on a roller coaster of emotion. And I think by making more choices around all of this, that we're in many ways setting ourselves free to use our precious time in more effective ways. So that's really worth considering. Who are you spending time with? And there's a constant undercurrent of fear that's actually quite difficult to avoid, but it is possible because I do it myself. As a highly sensitive person, these undercurrents, whether fear or judgment, can be so hard to deal with. So I design my way around them. Yes, design. That's what life design is all about. I remember some years ago a mentor saying to me, but design is for graphics and design is for buildings and, design is for dresses. And I remember answering, well, for me, design is for life. And when we go through the full life design process, what happens is we move into a place of self-recognition, and then that becomes followed by creative solution. Outside the box thinking, very often that bubbles up from inside us. And it's quite interesting because the little oracle card that I downloaded, as you know, I get these cards. The one this week is very, very relevant to this, to be honest with you. So you may have heard me say before that fear is made up of 4 letters. 4 words then come from those 4 letters. S, false. E, emotions. A, appearing. And R, real. False, emotion, appearing, real. So fear and subsequent anxiety, whether real or imagined, is processed through our mind and our body as if we're actually living through the event over and over again. This lowers our immunity. It lowers our well-being, and it can be as lethal over time as any virus, as it destroys the life that we live. When we're being more true to ourselves and including as much enjoyment in our lives as possible, even simple pleasures, there's less room for fear and anxiety to creep in. We can make a decision, as I've done, to ask worry, is this true? Is this true right now? So if a worry comes into my mind, I literally ask, is this true? Is this true, or is it just a threat? Am I actually threatening myself? And it's hard to believe that we do, but we do. So very often some of this is prompted by an undercurrent of societal worry, or it's prompted by programs we watch or things that we listen to, or maybe even negative friends that kind of wear us down a bit by sharing their worries. So the question to ask in the context of being true to ourselves is, what do I actually want? What am I going to do about this? Is a great question to ask yourself, because guess what? It's really likely that you have the answer. Now, for the moment, I'm just focusing in on worry, but it can actually relate to things like shame. It can relate to things like being bullied. It can relate to disappointments in life. It's transferable across all of these things. But for the moment, I'm focusing in on fear and anxiety because people I speak with are telling me that that's where their heads are right now. I have the greatest respect for anyone who's struggling with any area of their lives. However, I truly believe that every single person on this call, either now or later, is amazing, is really resourceful, and has so much potential to enjoy life and to contribute to life beyond their current actions or even their current imaginings, should they choose to do so. Here in the world of life design, there's no judgment. There's no finger wagging. There's only kindness and choices. Because the truth is that I believe in you. So over the sessions, I hope to introduce you to your further potential. Not something I think you should do. Not something I believe, society might want you to do or anything like that. It's really about you discovering what elements of your life you would like to adjust or change in some small way, because sometimes it's the smallest changes that can make the biggest difference. But that you head on into this Celtic New Year, which began last week, really knowing what you want for yourself and really not prepared to take less. I suppose that's how I would describe it. And I'll tell you one thing, flexible people have the best lives. I'm going to repeat that because it's really, really important. Flexible people have the best lives. People who say to me in the context of my work, oh, I'd never do this, or I'd never do that, or, that's just not me, or whatever. Yes, when we're being true to ourselves, we really, really question all of these things. And we are very, very sure what we will do, what we will put up with, what we will, what would I say? We're just more clear on everything. But there is an element of flexibility that when we weave it in through our decision, because we are different people than the people we were 12 months ago, even 1 month ago. So when there's something that comes to your attention that you feel, oh gosh, I'd really like to achieve this, or this is an area of my life where I just wish that I was more true to myself. So as I was reconfiguring this course, my thought was, actually, I'm going to allow it to fulfill its full potential. And as I'm going through the course, I realized that even the powerful impact that even this module is having even on me, who knows this so well, that I found myself writing down these little notes. And, when we write down those little notes from, a life design perspective, what they almost become is like our own personal rules for life. Not something somebody is telling us to do, but something that we are choosing to do. Something that, is kind of like our guiding light. Small decisions, but very often they have big impact. And my wish for you is that even if you have to listen back to this again, that you will get these little insights to things that kind of like bubble up from inside, where you're thinking, enough is enough. And in life design, it's not so much about giving up things. Like so many different people teach us, give up this, give up that, you mustn't do this, you mustn't do that. With life design, it's really about replacing anything that we're not 100% happy with something that will bring us joy, or will bring us happiness, or will bring us enthusiasm instead. So we don't leave gaps. If we decide to change something, we fill them straight away. The way you might dig up a plant in the garden, and rather than leave a gaping hole, you fill it with something new. You might fill it with 2 or 3 new things, because that kind of feels best in many ways. And I suppose by refilling that hole in the ground with 2 or 3 things, what happens is we're opening our opportunities. We're opening possibilities. And that's when everything changes. Because what happens is, as we fill any gaps with things that bring us pleasure, with things we want to learn, with things we want to read, with people we do want to spend time with, what happens is that there isn't then time for, what would I say, the kind of ruminating that goes on in a lot of people's heads, where they have regrets from the past and worries from the future. Instead, they're filling their right now with the very best for themselves. Not what anybody is saying that they should do, but what they're choosing. And that's what everything changes. And a little bit of things that you fancy. So if you can't afford something that's quite expensive, very often whatever we're looking for in life, and I'll probably be covering this in the weeks to come, it's the feeling that we get from that, opportunity or experience is what we're actually looking for. So even if it's something quite complicated that's on our mind, we can usually find a way to create even a little of that ceiling. And that brings satisfaction. And when we're functioning from a place of satisfaction and a sense that we know that we're doing the best for ourselves and that we're treating ourselves well and we're being true to ourselves, it just changes the life we live completely. And I've been doing this work for many, many years now. And honestly, I can tell you it is. Not that I'm wanting to change anyone's life, but even some of the small changes that we choose to make, it's almost like they change our course. And when we change our course or our direction slightly, then it opens us up for other things as well. So I always find that really, really interesting. And so already today I had a little piece of paper beside me and I had 3 personal notes. And then a 4th note was the full course needs to be 6 modules. Now that's not saying that I'll turn it into that straight away. I'll let you know as the weeks go on. But it's really funny because when these things come into our mind, it's like we can't ignore them. We need to give them the attention that they deserve. You see, in many ways, because of the life you live, we think we've got to rush everything to get to the finishing line as quickly as possible. But our inner wisdom can actually operate at a different pace. And this is the magic of self-connection, which is what happens on this course. And we're all taking time to self-connect here. And to be honest with you, it might be just the best gift that you give yourself this year. It's truly powerful, ladies, truly powerful. So I'm going to slow things right down for a moment. I'm going to take a little drink myself, if that's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to join me by taking a deep breath. We take a breath together. So 1, 2, 3. Might try another one. How does that feel? Could you take that deep breath, honestly? Or did it get caught somewhere on the way down? If it catches, what's blocking it? Or was your breath more like a weary sigh than a deep breath? Your body has the answers. We think our mind has the answer. But some of the very best answers come from our body. Our bodies have so much wisdom. And I know this to be true from personal experience. Pull the thread and open the scarf. Yes, from personal experience. And one of the most powerful things we can do is to ask our bodies, have you a message for me? And pausing like this and taking this time out, is a sign to your body that you really, really care, a sign to your mind as well. Have you a message for me? And if something jumps into your mind, just say yes. And see does anything begin to bubble up from inside. Because honestly, there will be messages there over the weeks to come. Now, it's really important to remember with life design, we actually don't dig too deep at all. We allow things to unfold and to bubble up very gently. The ability to take a deep breath can be a real sign of whether you are being true to you or not. Some people, however, are very good at the deep breath because this is the way they have chosen to manage situations or to put up with things. Ask your body in the week to come, what one thing can you do to be more true to you? So from this first little True to You session, we're just testing the waters. We're opening up a sense of possibility. But more than that, I invite you to get a sense of how amazing you are. This is where your notebook can be handy to capture little thoughts and even sensations that bubble up, something that resonates with you, not only now, but in the days to come. Is there anything that you've been neglecting? Perhaps you can become determined to address it because what you're finding out here this evening, and especially from your own inner wisdom too. Perhaps you're beginning to get a sense, because you've taken this time out, that you're worth it. Even one change for the positive can be a catalyst for a whole new way of living in one area of your life or more. This is always your choice. Your choice. This should not be something you have to force. You see, when I teach people how to use life design, creating change can be designed in a way that makes it feel natural and pain-free and even compelling and exciting. Because we're choosing to do things that makes us more true to ourselves. And this is the very best form of self-care. Are there any possibilities popping into your head? Anything from your gut instinct this evening? And if so, how is your negative voice dealing with these suggestions? Ask it to be quiet a while and to be prepared to be surprised. Every aspect of ourselves wants the very best for us. It's just sometimes that we lose our way, but there's always a way back to the path, or even a new path to forge once we decide what we truly want, or what we want instead of a certain situation. It could be a choice towards more gracious living will resonate with you over the coming weeks. A little everyday elegance can make such a difference to the life we live. So why am I showing up here for you? Because I care so much about people that if any aspect of my life design teaching can change even one individual life experience for the better, then this makes it all worthwhile for me. As some of you all know, I'm a great believer that we can design our unique destiny rather than settle for what comes our way in life. You see, I truly understand that we can be going along in life and then something can happen. We can be taken by surprise. How we cope with this, whether something good or something more challenging, is completely dependent on how true we are to ourselves. And I have proved that with people over and over again. When we're functioning in life from a place of self-respect, self-confidence, self-care, and even self-knowledge, which I hope you'll get over the weeks of me here, we'll make decisions and we will cope at a completely different level. We'll see the wood from the trees. We're less likely to feel overwhelmed. We will make wiser decisions from our head, but from our heart too. And we will refuse to settle for second best. You may ask, what book did I read this in? You may know or may not, if you're new to me here in life design, is that I was given a divine gift at the most basic version of life design as a 10-year-old child. I'm in my 60s now, and I've certainly been to life school. I spent 9 years in college in my 50s, full and part-time, with all three of my now adult kids at different stages. And I've worked with and I've helped many, many people. All the research is mine. It's the truth. Sometimes it seems simple, but to be honest with you, the results are just great. So we've made a nice gentle start this evening, I think you'll agree. And whether it's your first time doing this self-discovery, take it easy. Or even if you're back to it again, take it easy. because honestly, it works over and over again in different levels, at different levels. I was quite surprised with what popped up even for myself day to day, to be honest with you. So because it's Monday Magic time, let's pull 3 cards to guide us in the week ahead. I'd put my little old angel cards away that I'd been using in January, and I put them back in the drawer where they live. But of course, I was prompted to take them right out again today. It's so funny. I think that I'm in control of all of this, but I certainly am not. So these are tiny little angel cards, and they've seen me through so much you wouldn't really believe it. So I often pick, one card from 3 different decks. I do all kinds of things. Today, it's right back to these. And then I was given, I have to tell you, the most beautiful, beautiful oracle card myself. I think one of my favorites. I'm always fascinated by this. So these cards, the first one is choices. When you worry about decisions, it means that your mind is trying to control your life. And that results in choices made from your ego. Your angel guidance is to consider and evaluate all the options. Then let go of your head and choose from your heart that which gives you greatest joy and feels right. Do not act from foolish impulse, however, rather from divinely prompted inspiration. Make choices for the highest good. Remember that if something is not for your highest good, it's certainly not for the highest good of those around you. So let go of false feelings of responsibility for others and choose with wisdom. Become still and attune to your soul. Ask your angels for guidance and help. Then, from your point of deep inner stillness, make your choices easily and spontaneously. I choose for my highest good is the affirmation this week. I choose for my highest good. So the second card is gratitude. We'll be talking briefly about gratitude next time round. Your guidance is to count your blessings. When you say thank you to the universe for its gift, it responds generously to you. Angel wisdom reminds you to say thank you for all that you have, intangible as well as the tangible. Whenever you say thank you from your heart, more is bestowed on you. For gratitude is a key to opening the doors of universal abundance. Cultivate an attitude of gratitude and open yourself to receive love and plenty into your life. Your angels will smile on you. And the affirmation on this card is, I am grateful for everything in my life. And the third one, and it's interesting, it's vulnerability. And I think that when we go on this little journey, as I say, I only work on the lighter side of life. I don't go dig deep. I just go on the lighter side of life. But there is a vulnerability of connecting with our true selves, to be honest with you. Only the brave and open-hearted dare to allow themselves to be vulnerable, for it requires courage to take down all the walls and expose your humanness. Your angel guidance is to become aware of your defense mechanisms, which keep you separate from others and the divine. Ask your angels to help you dissolve your masks and barriers so that your fragile, true self can emerge like a butterfly from its cocoon. The reward is freedom, love, and a sense of inner safety. So dare to be vulnerable and open. And actually the affirmation is, vulnerability is my strength. And then just to cap those off, this is the new Oracle card that I was given. So in the past year, we're now on number 43 this evening. So the card I was given today was serenity. Deep down inside us is a place of serenity, always there. In this sacred place, troubled waters do not flow. It's where our wisdom bubbles like a wellspring, though it can be blocked by life's boulders and debris, worry, undue influence, comments, or even fear. We may have to search, but there's always a trickle, It is part of our life force, and our truth releases its flow. Little by little, it reemerges and then can surprise us, truly. Find ways and places and people to nurture the trickle. Understand its importance to you in your life as it surges stronger on the inside, building your outer strength too. As it flows freely, so much else will flow too. Prepare to be surprised and even awestruck at the power of you from the depth of your serenity and inner wisdom. This is how we experience flow. It begins at source. So I hope you like my new card. I certainly liked it today. So between now and we meet again for module 2 next week, I'd like you to consider the following. What is one thing that you are going to do to lift your spirits? And the next little question I have for you, and I will be doing all of these myself because I never ask anybody to do something that I'm not doing myself. Make a little note of what are the 5 things that you feel you deserve. What is something that you have that you feel you should be more grateful for? You know, perhaps something that you actually take for granted a little bit. And what would you like to happen for you over the next few weeks of the course? I really encourage you to give this course the attention it deserves. And it would be a very good idea in a notebook to describe where you are now so that you feel kind of grounded in that place. Excuse me, and you'll be able to check back later to actually acknowledge what you've achieved. Because with life design, every time we achieve something, it actually empowers whatever we're going to do next. And whatever you decide you want to do, or, you know, what you want to achieve to be more true to you, remember that we do not use the word should in life design at all, because most of us actually work better with gentle persuasion and a date in mind. So we gently encourage ourselves rather than kind of, you know, giving out to ourselves. And we set a date, but it's a gentle date. So if we don't meet that date, it doesn't mean that we have failed in any way, but we've benefited from the focus. And it's taken us so far along the journey. And then we can regroup and think, you know, well, you know, do I need more time? Do I need some help? What got in the way of me achieving that date? Was I being unrealistic? And we consistently try and learn from these things so that we learn that certain things take us more time, certain things we need help with. When we're wanting to be true to ourselves, it's like a whole new version of getting to know ourselves. Not getting to know ourselves in ways that other people might have considered us or treated us or regarded us, but actually from ourselves, from our own deep wisdom. And honestly, life becomes more flowful. Doesn't mean you don't have challenges. I have several challenges myself, but it just means that you're dealing with it all in a way that's not as detrimental to yourself, in a way that's not self-punishing, in a way that you stay within your power and you can constantly then use that power for your good and the good of anybody you live with or work with. So I'm going to finish with a quote from Queen Lizzie. And so people won't be disappointed who love Queen Lizzie. I'll actually put on I'll put on one of my flower crowns this evening and get out my wand and give you a little blessing as you go on your way, because I feel it's quite a little adventure that you'll all be going on. So I'm going to finish with a quote from my own little book that I'm writing. And it says that you are the curator of praise and criticism in your life. You decide what stays and what goes. That's little Queen Lizzie quote. So I hope you enjoyed being here with me this evening. I certainly enjoyed being here with you. There's been a very nice energy on the call this evening, and I hope you'll join me again. Get your little notebook, get it all set up. So I'm going to love you and leave you now and wish you see, look, my wand is so bad and broken, look. But you see, when Queen Lizzie emerged a couple of years ago at this stage, I just had this kind of real wish to get a wand. And so I said to my husband, isn't there a magic wand in the kids' dress-up box in the attic? So up he went to get it. But I'm looking now and I'm thinking Queen Lizzie maybe needs a little bit of a better wand. But anyway, this is serving me well for now. And thank you, ladies, for being here. It means the world to me. And I wish you all the good in the world in the week to come for you and for yours. And please join me again next week to continue this little journey together.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us and for listening to Lifedesign Monday Magic. We are honoured and humbled to be able to share Liz's words, wisdom and life design philosophy with you. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love for you to subscribe so you never miss a new one. And if you could take a moment to rate and review the podcast, it would help us share her message with even more people. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with another inspirational Life Design Monday Magic filled with more of Liz's wisdom, warmth and encouragement to help you live your best life despite. We'll talk to you again soon, and in the meantime, take care. And as Liz would say, do focus on all that's good. Good luck.